And welcome to the Wednesday Word. I am always encouraged after reading the scripture from Joshua chapter 1. It is called the Lord's charge to Joshua. This is after the death of Moses, so now their leader is gone. So God tells Joshua it is now his time. He will lead the people into the promised land. I always felt bad for Moses that he never got to do that. But now Joshua is in charge. God tells him that he will be with him and will never abandon him. He tells him to be strong and courageous. In fact, he says it 3 times. Verse 9 says, "This is my command, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." How comforting that must have been for Joshua. He was the new kid on the block. They had been following Moses all this time, and now it was up to him. I would imagine he would have been a bit intimidated following Moses, and the people may not have trusted him at first. But Joshua had great faith, and that great faith in God made him a great leader. And this goes for us too. God is always with us. The name Emmanuel is God with us. There are a lot of times in life when we need to pick up this scripture and just keep reading it over and over. Be strong and courageous. God is with us. He is with us in the hospitals and the grave sites. He is with us in those moments when we are not sure which way to turn. He is with us when we were happy and content. And He is with us when we are sad and lonely. So the good times and the bad, He won't abandon us. There's a story about a tribe of Native Americans that had a unique practice for training their young braves. On the night of a boy's 13th birthday, he was placed in a dense forest to spend the entire night alone. Until then, he had never been away from the security of his family and tribe. But on this night, he was blindfolded and taken miles away. When he took off the blindfold, he was in the middle of thick woods, by himself, all night long. Every time a twig snapped, he probably visualized a wild animal ready to pounce. Every time an animal howled, he imagined a wolf leaping out of the darkness. Every time the wind blew, he wondered what more sinister sound it masked. No doubt it was a terrifying night. And after what seemed like an eternity, the first rays of sunlight entered the interior of the forest. Looking around, the boy saw flowers, trees, and the outline of a path. And then, to his utter astonishment, he saw the figure of a man standing just a few feet away, armed with a bow and arrow. It was the boy's father. He had been there all night long. And so is God the Father, standing right beside us all the time. Just as God made those promises to Joshua, He also makes them to us. Jesus repeats this promise in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, when He commissions His followers by sending them to all the nations to make disciples. He ends with these words, "I'll be with you as you do this, day after day after day, right up to the end of the age." We are never alone. Emmanuel, God with us. Have a joyful week.